Okay, here we are. We're going to talk about core stability again today. And the focus is on hypermobility. So like anybody with SI joint dysfunction, anybody who's ever been pregnant and given birth, you've got like a lot of laxity back there, and a lot of people are just born that way. I am one of them. I've never given birth, but I have a lot of those symptoms that somebody who already did would have. So the focus is on trying to stabilize back here. Can anybody see? Here, SI joints. Lots of instability can happen there, and when there is instability, obviously there's pain. So that is what we're trying to address today. And these are all my kind of go-to exercises when I am feeling out of alignment, out of place. A lot of people go to a chiropractor and they get adjusted, whatever the terminology is that you're used to. Exercise is what can actually keep you in place and stop you from getting out of alignment, and or just correct the alignment itself. So that is what I will show you today. So you need a band. This is a really light resistance. This is like a medium resistance. So whatever you have. Most people do not need a hard resistance. If they do, then they're beyond these exercises. They don't need these. So we'll start the band around the feet. Actually, you're gonna loop it like a figure 8, like so. You see that? Lying flat on your back. So feet are hip width apart, and actually, if you see what I just did with this band, I brought it up over my foot, so now it's on my ankle. So this is the foot that's going to be anchored to the ground. This is the one that's moving, and then the whole idea here is to keep your core really tight and not let any motion be happening in your hips, like this, rising or arching or even lifting. So you're just trying to keep your back nice and flat. If you need to, go back to like the abdominal bracing tutorial, and that quickly explains the goal of what we're trying to do here. And this is now a progression. So this foot is stable. I'm tight here, and I'm sliding this heel out and back. This is actually easier to do if you're on a smooth surface like this and barefoot. So you're going to try to do 2 sets of 10 for each side. 4, 5, and then as you're breathing, make sure you breathe through your diaphragm and try to fill in these spaces. If you put your hands here and you feel like something is caving in, you actually want to breathe into that pocket even more. This is kind of like my downfall, or my right lower obliques and transverse abdominis. Cool, so now you're going to switch. Just get this one now on your heel. Other one is up on my ankle. I'm anchored on my left now. And then the other thing, big thing to remember, is keeping your feet, knees, hips, everything is a hip width apart. So your knees should never be collapsing inward, coming towards the other one. There should always be a big gap in between them. So not only are you getting core stabilization with this, you're getting hip flexor strengthening. And that's like a big thing that's generally overlooked. And just keep checking around your abs. See where those little divots are, see where you need to breathe into. And as you get better with your breathing, you should be able to talk while you're breathing, pushing here, and exercising at the same time. All right, I think that's about 10. So you are going to do 2 sets of 10. So pause here, do 2 sets of 10, carry on. We're going to undo this. Go up onto the feet. I'm going to use a green band. And we've done these before, if you've watched before. Now this is still hip flexion, but our legs are up at 90 degrees, so you can see my hips, my knees, my ankles, everything is at 90 degrees. It's called like a 90-90 position. And you're kicking out and back. Now, if this is really hard, if you can do it, but it's a little too hard, then just do one leg at a time. So I'm just gonna stabilize on my right, and you will feel your abs in here, because I'm stabilizing on this side as that one's moving. Inhale, exhale, breathe into your belly. Breathe into all those little divots. This should all be like a nice flat container. Rest. That's 10. 10 on the other side, the other thing. Make sure your head is supported. If you find that your head is like up here, then get something under your head, whether it's your hands or a pillow, towel roll. So now you should really feel your abs working on the left side, your left lower abs. And that left side should really be stabilizing. You shouldn't be letting it get pulled like this. You're basically resisting yourself. I think I went over 10. So that's 10 on each side. Pause here. 2 sets of 10. If you want, you can do 3 sets of 10, but just start with 2. All right, so bando. And now this seems like it would be really easy, but it's not. And all we're trying to do is just target this area. This is everybody's downfall. We're all like really dominant right here, and right here is where we're usually lacking, especially like the lower down you go, the more they turn off. So we're always trying to get them to turn back on. Okay, so core is really tight. Flat. I've got my container, and for this I want to support my head, because otherwise my head is just going to lift and I'm going to use my neck way too much. So head supported, completely supported. This arm is doing everything for my head right now, and I'm reaching this hand towards my right heel. I'm really just kind of like sliding along the ground. So it's like, it is an oblique crunch, but a lot of people cannot do this without using their neck. I mean, like one of these types of exercises is just too much. Too much for like the average person. You want to try to get to 10. And remember, inhale, exhale, and really breathe into this little pocket. What we don't want to be a pocket, we want it to be nice and filled in with good muscle tone, just like this is. And then switch sides. Get that head supported. Arm is reaching. Core is super tight. How I always start this is take a big inhale. Fill my belly with air. Get my head supported. Exhale. You should really be feeling right here, firing away. If you don't, then reset yourself. Make sure that your head is supported, that you're not doing all this with your thoracic and neck. It's really easy to do that. All right, so my obliques are burning. So that was about 10 for each side. And you are going to try to do 2 to 3 sets of 10, maybe even 2 sets of 15 would be good. Okay, so core press in standing. What I was saying, this is a really good exercise for everybody. There's nobody who doesn't benefit from this, and I think I give it to like almost everybody. So what you need is a long band, one of these. It doesn't have to be that long. It could be just this long is fine. You can also use tubing if you have one of these, and that's great. I think this is what I have to use, but I'm gonna hold on to it. You can go as far as you want out here. I just don't want to be that far away. So I'm gonna take that off, and I'm gonna hold on to it. I've got both hands clasped around the band, holding. So feet are only not even a hip width apart. We want them kind of narrow because it throws off my balance and it makes it harder for my core, so it's more challenging. So I'm starting right here at my chest. Core is really tight, and I'm pushing forward and down. Hold for a few seconds, come back up. So see, my knees are in a little bit of a bend. I'm not straight up, not here, and I'm not here. Knees bent, knees soft. I don't have a big arch in my back. My core is really tight. If your core is tight, then remember that that solves pretty much almost everything for you. It's hard to get out of alignment when your core is solid. Hold for a few seconds and back in. Exhale into it. Fill those pockets where you know you need to be filling. Keep the air in there. Keep them filled. Keep your little container nice and solid. Try to get to 10. While you're doing that though, I'm going to show you a progression. So straight out and then rotate slightly and then back in. So I'm not pulling with my arms. I'm still trying to keep them in front of my midline. If you kind of line up your belly button in your arms, everything's staying one in front of the other. So how I'm getting over there is I'm twisting through my trunk. Don't eat right before you do this, because you'll feel how I feel right now. Okay, feet kind of close together, so I'm here. Knees bent, core is tight, starting at my chest. Straight out and down. If you have stability issues, like SI joint dysfunction or whatever else, hypermobility, whatever you've been diagnosed with, or you just always have that constant pain in your SI joint, then you're going to feel it a little bit back there. And as long as it's like a 0, 1, 2, that's okay. That just means that area is working. It's stabilizing right now. It's kind of good that we know it's working. If it gets beyond that, then that's no good. Then you got to kind of go back to the beginning and see what you can tolerate. So now we're going to try to rotate. And these I usually just start with 10 to 15 total for each side. And this should be pretty hard too. If you find that you could do 30 or 50 of these and clearly it's too easy, you need a harder band. You need to make it harder. You need to really put some effort into that rotation, because I can just stand here and do this. And what I'm using is my low back, my mid back. Everything that I don't want to use, everything that would easily get aggravated. So you can make this exercise as hard as you want. And if it's still easy, single leg. Easier on the inner leg, harder on the outer leg. And you want to watch that knee and not let it collapse in. We're always trying to keep really good alignment. All right. I'm tired. Have fun with those.